up? It's your boy Leo Fade, and welcome to the Straight Faded podcast. Tonight I got a special guest. I think he like 1/4 of the Spanish fly, right?
Yeah,
I
Spanish
got
fly.
Ese Daz. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. How you doing, brother?
Good, good. I'm actually excited to interview you.
Oh, thank you, man. Well, thank you for having me, bro. I'm
I've
excited
heard
to
a
be
lot
here.
about you from Johnny D.
Yeah,
And I went through always went through your catalog, went through your work,
all the old school shit.
and yeah, you have a lot of good product. You have a lot of things, especially.
you.
I'm also proud because you're independent, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
you're the one that
independent,
started 110 South. And all
Yeah, I
that?
started 110 South Music, man.
How did that came about? Like how the struggle of starting the labels like so independent.
Man, well, you can go way back. If I talk about like when we did this album, we were already doing music in the late '80s, right? Me, Trix, and the homie Esther Rich Rock, and then my homeboy Ruben Toker, he's in there. Back then, bro, even before, it was a struggle because it was like the beginning of, we never called it Chicano rap, but they put the label.
Yeah, yeah.
But we were the beginning of like we were part of the movement, right? Of the first Chicanos of rap to do music. So back then, we used to try to get on record labels. Me and my homeboy Trix, we'd send our demo. We used to make a demo with a 4-track and turntables and the records. And we used to send them to labels.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know what labels, it was Columbia, just whatever major labels were out.
Yeah, yeah.
And, at that time, I think certain groups were signed. Like, I think you had Frost on a major label. Certain groups, maybe Lighter Shade of Brown. But we were independent. No one, we didn't get signed. So that's when Familia Records came about, which was a teacher of mine at Carson High.
Oh, they already got their own independent
Yeah,
label?
he had, what happened was, we already made an album like in close to 1990, but we made it on a tape cassette back then, So we made this whole demo, the whole album. That album there was on a 4-track, that one.
Yeah, yeah.
So we made it and we passed it around the tape at Carson High School. We went to Carson High, and it got around, bro. Buzz. We didn't back then. You didn't have Instagram, nada,
Yeah, yeah.
So it got around, bro, and all the homies from the Harbor area, around the neighborhoods, from Carson area to Wilmington, it started spreading, And we were already DJs, Frank and I.
So they were doing high school years?
Yeah.
And
I mean, middle school we started.
Yeah.
But in high school is when that album, when we did 18 with a Bullet, and that album started circulating in the neighborhood.
The way you think it was about that track that got the buzz going.
You got the buzz going, 18 with a Bullet.
That
was a single. But back then it was a tape. And Murray, his name was Murray Brumfield. He was owner of Familia Records at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So we used to go to his classroom, like all the kids that love music, because he's always tocaba música. He'd always play music in the class, history class, during lunchtime. So we'd all go in there, bro, because we like music. Hey, Murray, we talked to him. He was a cool guy. And we took our demo tape. Like a lot of rappers, hey, play my stuff, play my shit. And then he played it, and he was impressed, bro. Like once he heard it, he took us to the studio. I can't remember if it was a week after, 2 weeks, but he's like, man, we went to Paramount Recording Studios in Hollywood. I remember. We went, and that's where we got that. When we did we did the same, from the 4-track tape, but now we got it done professionally. And, and that's how it kind of started. He had his own little label, and it was called Kingswood Records. But since we were Chicano, he made a label called Familia. So from there, it's kind of how it started. But, like you say, I started my label after when, you just go through things and you want to be more in control of, like, what you want to put out. Yeah, and that's how it started. I said, I want to make my own thing. And, but yeah.
How do you got into the music, or what got you into, like, actually, like, your first step, like, to try it out?
The rap?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
well, the rap, I come from a family with música, just musical background, right? Mis hermanos, my brothers, they're musicians, músicos. They used to be in the Mexican groups como Los Bukis.
oh, damn.
They tocaba bajo, my brother. So I come from a family of a lot of músicos, right? A lot of musicians. So I always had music.
Yeah, yeah.
I used to even sing like Juan Gabriel and all that. So that's part of that. And then, when was it? Like NWA. East Coast rap for us was a big influence. My friend Trix, he was the DJ. So I got into DJing. We got into DJing and the DJ parties. And at that time, like the East Coast KRS-One, I don't know if you heard of them, Public Enemy, all these rappers from the East Coast, we were into that. Hip-hop.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's what a lot of people, and they need to know that, like, Spanish Fly was not just, Orale, ese, that it developed.
Yeah, yeah.
We came from hip hop, and then you had the West Coast, Easy E, N.W.A. That was a big influence to us too. And so when that happened, Rich Rock and myself and Frank, we just wanted to like the voice from the Chicano, from our perspective, the way we grew up, we wanted to tell our side of the story. The blacks were doing it, so we wanted, hey, this is how it goes down in the barrio.
Yeah, yeah.
So and that's how it started. That's how I started getting into the writing this kind of music. But prior to that, we were doing DJing, and then Rich Rock was rapping, kind of like East Coast rap.
Yeah, yeah.
So we were like, let's say, probably middle school. Yeah.
Yo, we're really young.
Yeah.
And still doing
13, or still doing it, bro.
it. Still doing it. How does it feel being independent, still doing it? Because you're still independent, right?
Yeah, it feels great, man. It feels great because I love to I love to do it, I just love the music. I still have the passion for it. And like we had the passion back then, and I still have it. I look at what's coming out new, and it motivates me, bro.
Yeah.
So I'm blessed, bro. I'm happy. I'm happy to continue to do music, and I tell my girl and I tell people I'm gonna be 80 years old making beats, homie. Like I just love it.
And it's dope because beats is something that, why you call that? There's no time for beats. There's no time for sounds. Like,
No,
if you're, like, you could hear it
it's endless.
exactly that. And
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing about music. Like, even producing, like, even podcasting for me
Mm-hmm.
is new, but there's a lot of things I could put into this program,
Oh, yeah.
into this, and it just keeps me going.
Yeah.
And with the music, too, like, I've been doing it for almost, like, 10 years.
That's good,
or
man.
around there. And till today, I'm still, I'm still motivated by myself, too, because you got to be more motivated by yourself, because it's hard now to get support from anybody, And it's crazy that you guys got good support back then, coming
Yeah.
from different areas of Harbor area.
Yeah.
How was that back then?
Man, back then it was a good feeling, man, and it was new, the whole the Chicano rap that they end up labeling it. It's just something different, and it was cool, man. It was fun. I remember our memory of walking home from Carson High. I remember when we released Soy 18 with the Bullet, the 12-inch, and I remember walking and cars driving by, bumping, "Orale, ese, let's load the shotgun," hearing it. And I'm walking, with my friend. I don't know if I was by myself with a couple friends, but I'm like, man, they don't even know that's our record,
Yeah.
But we just, it's everything spread word of mouth back then,
Yeah.
it just out the trunk, kind of like that's what Murray did for us, kind of like Easy E, independent. He would go to the barrios, give out, hey, check this out, to all the hoods, all the Mexican barrios, and that's how it spread, bro. Hey, here, check this out, and before you know it. It was a big deal. I mean, I remember, matter of fact, we're here in Lomita. I remember they used to be, I don't know if it was Music Plus, record stores. We don't even have them anymore. And I remember going to the store because the owners, one of our homies said, hey, told the owner, I know these guys because they had our tape. And then he brought us over there. And I remember walking in, and this is crazy because the whole, how they have a setup? One setup, I used to see this with Jay-Z, and it's all Jay-Z, the whole setup. Well, they had us, it was 18 with a Bullet, all a single. The whole thing full.
Oh,
so
wow.
I remember, it takes me back. It was a good feeling, bro. Just to represent for the gente and like for our culture.
Yeah.
I was proud of it,
We think about nowadays. I feel like, me personally, I feel like we're in a good state for music and for there's a lot of unity in Wilmington or Harbor area.
Man.
I'm a big Harbor area supporter.
Hell
so I
yeah.
try to help everybody, and I see everybody coming together now.
Yeah, it's a long time coming. Like if you notice on that album, and even the reintroduction, not the reintroduction on my solo album, but there's a song called Harbor Area, and that's my song. And 21310 is the area code. Better watch your back. Better be strapped. If you're on the wrong side of the track, Harbor Area, a click from LA. So my thing was always, it was like you said, I was always proud of the Harbor Area, and that was what it was about for me. Like put it on the map. And not just Carson, where I come from, like, because I had homies in Wilmington, Wilmas, and family, San Pedro. My thing was the whole area, the whole Harbor area. And, yeah, now in 2022, I'm, like, kind of proud because back then it wasn't as easy, bro.
Yeah.
To get, like, somebody from Wilmington to collaborate with someone from Carson. There was a lot of it's a gang culture in the 90s, bro, so it was difficult. So, I'm glad, like, now people are, like, getting together.
Yeah.
I think we're still a long way, but it's starting.
It's something.
So I like, I'm not one of those guys that's like, the new school. Nah, man, I embrace it all.
Yeah.
It keeps me I grow with it. I learn, I always say I'm a lifelong learner, and so what you're doing, like even you rap. You're an extension of what we did, and so I'm glad you're doing it, bro. And you keep it going, and I like seeing the unity.
Yeah, thank you. Like that's pretty dope. Like as I was going through you guys' catalog, your artists, your artists too, everybody in your label.
Yeah.
You guys as a team or a group, you guys are all solid. You guys all got so much
you.
potential. Like I said, Johnny D, that fool got bars for like ever, for days. I saw your productions. You got it.
Thank you.
You got your vocals too. Any means, he was one of the ones that I learned he had a buzz like way back then when I was starting. So yeah. So I knew he had like kind of like a buzz going, and that's crazy that he's Spanish fly now. All of you guys.
Yeah. I got a crazy story. There was a long time. I don't know if Johnny talked about it, but the whole when I put him in the group, the second generation Spanish fly with him, Fino, and my nephew Ace, and then rest in peace, Fino.
Rest in peace, Fino.
Yeah. I discovered Johnny at a party. He was rapping. He was dope. Lyrics, like you said, he was very talented. As an MC, as a rapper. So when I put him in the group, we did all that and we did shows and everything, and then I don't know, 2019 maybe. We there was a lot of time we didn't talk for a long time. He's busy with his family, me too.
Yeah.
And then we like relinked back up, and that's when I was gonna do his album, his project, because I wanted to do more production. I've always produced since the '90s, but I got like a new hunger for it, and and then he had mentioned I've known of Andy Means for a while. He's a dope MC.
Yeah.
And I learned from him through Concrete. Shoots videos. He told me about him years back. So Johnny and him, I think, were talking, and then I always thought about bringing a group back, Spanish Fly, but I wanted to add like seasoned vets, like good lyricists, guys that are really good, that kind of took the game and evolved with it, for as a Chicano and Latino, just getting better with your skills. Yeah, so and I mean, so I wanted to put guys on the team that were like seasoned vets and that were evolving the genre of Chicano rap or just hip hop with their skills. They were getting better and better lyrically. So that's when I thought of like Means. Johnny mentioned him, and I was like, you know what, he's really good. Like as far as music goes and his lyrics, he knows how to put them together well.
Yeah.
So that's how that came about, and then I always the group Mexiclan, out of San Pedro, man, we go way back. Pocos Pero Locos days, we did tours together, and with Leon, rest in peace. Leon's voice was unique, bro. I did songs with him in the studio, and I'm blessed that he came to my studio in Carson, and we did music together. And m.o.c. he has his own style. So I kind of thought, like, he's good, too. He has a good sound, his voice. He puts good raps together. He does the Spanglish, Inglés Español.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I put that together. And then I wanted to do the production. And then I rap here and there, but I wanted them to be front and center,
You enjoy doing the production? Yeah. And I think that's a good thing, like, because you run the label, you don't really have to do the rapping. But
Nah.
You could really help out your homie or whoever you do the background.
Mm-hmm.
How you feel about that? Like, you feel it's a lot of work too, or it's just more
Yeah,
chill for you?
You know what? It's it's work. It's work. I always like to, even back then when we did shows, I liked it, but I realized for me, I like being in the background more, producing.
Yeah.
So when I did my solo thing, I did shows and all that, and it was cool. It's fun, but being in the studio and producing it and engineering, that to me I love that, man. I just enjoyed it, So for this, it doesn't even seem like work sometimes because I enjoy it.
Yeah,
I
like
spend
a
hours.
learning experience type of.
I mean, you could ask my girl; she'd probably get mad. Yeah, they hate it, because you're still in the studio, But
Yeah,
you can get lost in it.
Yeah.
So I enjoy it. I gotta say, I do enjoy it probably more, bro. And just creating the music, engineering it, and then getting these guys to do the raps and sometimes the raps they come with, man, it excites me. Like, man, you guys killed that, So I like to help these guys, man, and then so they can shine too.
Yeah, because I be doing production too sometimes.
Yeah, it's good.
And I enjoy it because, like, my homies, they be getting down with the bars too, and I'm like, hell yeah, like, that's just
You get
dope.
excited, right?
Yeah. Like a good feeling for everybody because
man.
teamwork, everybody got the same energy, everybody's on it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes there's some artists that they just be, like, wasting time. Like, when you go to studio time, I don't know, when it's, like, they're paying you, like, an hour.
Yeah.
And they're just wasting time, like.
Yeah, just wasting time there.
And then you as a producer, you don't know what to tell her. Like, are you gonna record? But then at the end of the day, it's like you're paying you, like you're doing your job, también, you know.
Yeah.
So it gets difficult. But for those that don't know, like, who is Ese Daz?
For those who don't know, Ese Daz is well. Let's start from the beginning, right?
Yeah.
What does Ese Daz mean? Or
Yeah.
Daz. So I started off. It was just Daz. It used to be DJ Daz. It was a DJ, and it comes from David Arellano Zamora. So that's my name, bro. My name is David. My last name's Arellano, and my mother's last name is Zamora with a Z, Zeta.
Yeah.
So that's where Daz comes from.
That's
You know,
dope.
so and they used to call me Daz in the neighborhood, man, as a growing up, middle school. What's up, Daz? You know, so I had the name for a long time, and I say that because there is another Daz from Long Beach, Snoop's cousin.
Yeah. I was
right?
about to say, do you have to do anything with that? You got
Yeah,
anything?
we did a record together, but I remember the time. I mean, my record came out in 1990 maybe, so my name was already on there, right? So, I was inviting nobody. I didn't know of him at the time.
Yeah.
And then, Snoop Dogg blew up, so Daz Dillinger. But the beauty of it is that over time, when I was on Pocos Pero Locos, we ended up doing a record together. It's called Burning Down the House. It's on the Crimes of Agony album.
With Daz, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
me
I
and
love that
Daz,
about
black and brown, like they talk about unity now, but we've been trying to be united,
Yeah.
So we did that record, man. That was a good experience, man. He's a talented guy and good dude, man.
Yeah. Where you grew up at?
I grew up in Carson, Harbor area primarily. When I was, I think, let me see, maybe in the beginning we were in Wilmington. We lived in Wilmington, and for a little bit, and then eventually we moved to Carson, and then that's where I kind of went to, Carnegie Middle School, and then Carson High School. Yeah, so that's kind of where I grew up, man. The whole Harbor area, but primarily, city of Carson.
Dope. HA.
HA, man. Yeah.
When you got into the rap game, do you ever thought about it was gonna be that hard? I'm gonna have to bring it up because
Yeah,
the Chicano rap is
yeah.
always a topic.
Mm-hmm.
So nowadays, like you still label Chicano rap, you build your own. How is it nowadays? How do you feel? Is it dead? You think Chicano rap is dead?
You know what? I don't think. Well, let's start from the beginning. Like I said, when I mentioned earlier, when we made this music, and we never said we're making Chicano rap. We were just Mexican Americans in the neighborhood in the Harbor area wanting to talk about what we were seeing. Whether it was police brutality, the drugs, the gangs, the things we were seeing, and we hung out with some homies that were crazy.
Yeah.
Didn't necessarily mean that we had to be the ones doing the dirt, but we were around it. So we kind of talked about it, and so at the time we were just making hip hop. We were just Latino kids, Chicanos making hip hop. We never thought about Chicano rap. Eventually, they named it Chicano rap, right? So we embraced it. We are Chicanos, so I'm not gonna. People have different opinions.
Yeah.
For me, I'm not like, oh fuck that, I'm not Chicano rap. I don't do that because then I would be spitting on myself because I'm part of that.
Yeah.
So I embraced it. And there's a beauty to it, bro. There's a lot of talent that came from that, right? Like Spanish Fly. From that, Little Rob. He's one of the dudes. He's one of the guys, a pillar of it. Regardless of what people think, he took it far, and he's still doing it.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's history there, and so I embrace it. Could it be a bad thing? I think so. Like sometimes you get labeled, right? And then it's just Chicano rap's here, and rap is up here, but things like that happen. I mean, if you look at it, they use it to separate people anyway, like Republican, Democrat.
Exactly.
Politics, bro. Why do they use that? They separate people. It's the way things are. So I'm not mad at it. What do I think of it now? I think it's evolved. I think a lot of these guys are good.
Do you feel like we broke that barriers? Because now we got Latin trap, as you could say. I guess that's another genre.
Yeah. I think so, bro. I think it's come a long way. And I think, like you said, they got Latin trap. You got guys now that you got Cap G or certain guys that are able to look different, right? And not necessarily have to be the cholo. Now there's avenues, where I think it's a good thing. I think you're able to do you, and people will respect it, and now you get record deals. I think it's a good thing, bro. I think it's getting better little by little. Do I think that we're far from reaching whatever people wanted to reach? Yeah, maybe, but I don't look at it like that. I don't look at it like, oh, we need to get here. And I just look at it like, bro, just keep doing what you love, and it'll take care of itself. You know what I
it's
mean?
been a long way for,
Yeah.
like we said, yeah, it's been a long way. And then the last thing about just for me, because I come from the era of the Chicano rap,
Okay.
I started hearing Mr. Capone.
Yeah.
So like I know he's not Chicano or whatever, but like me personally, that's
Mhm.
why I was it fucked me up. So what
Yeah.
is Chicano? Because I
Yeah.
know he ain't. But
Right.
he's one, like you said, Little Rob is a pillar for Chicano rap.
Mhm.
But then you can't. But
Yeah,
so
he's there.
he did
Yeah.
a lot for.
Yeah, he did a lot. You know, he independent, whatever, how he ever did it. He made himself he made a name for himself.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And you know, a lot of people they if you mention Chicano, rap, they're gonna mention Capone, right?
yeah.
So yeah, you know you got to give him his credit too. Like
And then all his label made like Criminal, Pinks, like
yeah, there's a
everybody.
lot of guys, yeah, a lot of people that came from that branch. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
everyone has a branch, right?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
our branch, you got Little Rob, Shadow, Night Owl, Little One. All those guys, bro, believe it or not, came from Familia Records. You know? Down, Mr. Lean Like a Cholo.
Oh, that was
He
that.
came from he came from Familia Records.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's a lot of things. Got to realize that when you say, well, we ain't make. Nah, we did big things. A lot of these guys, people consider them legends, right? Like
Yeah.
so, there's branches.
Yeah,
So the game. We've done a lot. That's why when people, oh, we ain't. Nah, you got to be proud of what we've accomplished. We've done it, and then you say you got Capone's, and you got Mr. Criminal, and they continue, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
branches, bro.
Yeah.
Like from our branch, we got Johnny D now. You know, you got. So it's a beautiful thing, even though not everyone collaborates, but I for me, I got love for everybody. So I'm not one of those guys that won't mention them, you know? Because
Yeah.
I think we have a problem, my era, of I don't want to mention homie. Fuck that. Fuck him. And that's a problem for our culture, bro. We do that a lot. For
Yeah.
me, I give props, bro. Even if they diss me, I don't care. Like I look at it like, you know, I keep it real. You know, he's done a lot of good things, and I don't. For me, even if he's not Chicano, I don't trip on that stuff. You know,
Yeah.
he did it well, and he's doing his thing. So more power to him. You know, and
Right.
whoever's doing it, like you doing your thing, we're all raza, bro. And so I got nothing but love for that.
Oh, unity. That's all we need.
Unity.
Yeah, I saw you got Spanish on documentary.
Yeah, so that documentary, Spanish Fly, the one that's out in 2019, if you haven't seen it, check it out, Amazon Prime.
Check it out. We'll put the link and all that.
Put the link. If you got Amazon Prime, you watch it for free. It's a good doc, and yeah, and there we kind of talk about the beginning, the roots of Spanish Fly, and you know we talk about my homie Ese Rich Rock. We go into a little bit of the DJing time, you know, when we're DJing and things like that. So it's a really good doc, done by like USC students. My boy Jamal was part of that. My boy Dave, you know, and so yeah, that's a good one. And right now we're in the process of starting the part 2 of it, because I feel like in that doc it takes you a little bit
The
to
beginning.
this era. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I always say it's like the trust no man era.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of missing, right? Because from there, you still got the second generation with Johnny D and Fino, rest in peace, and the shows, Pocos Pero Locos, all that. So the second one, it's gonna go into that, a little bit of that,
Yeah.
and then a little bit about our private life and like you know what we do now, and a lot of I want to show like a lot of not all political, but like what was going on during the time of the late '80s
The tough
and
time.
the '90s.
The struggle.
Yeah, all the struggle, the gang time, but not only that, political was happening. You had a lot of police brutality happening back then too. So I want to show that, and then kind of like a roadmap for the kids, bro. Like how you can be successful in your own way depending on the choices you make. So it's I won't give too much away, but it should be pretty good.
Yeah,
We're starting on
it
that.
sounds interesting because, like, they're all independent, So, like,
Yeah,
especially when you're doing everything independent, that feeling that the whole project when you get to see at the end,
yeah.
it's like you said, legendary. Yours are like legendary status at this point. And I
Thank
was
you,
gonna bring
man.
that up too. Maybe in the future you guys are gonna have like another generation of Spanish Fly and then another
Maybe, bro.
generation.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what it looks like, And you
Yeah.
guys have a trajectory going and going, and
Mhm.
it looks like you're not gonna stop.
Yeah, probably not. That's what I wanted to start, man, because like you said, if you watch the first documentary, it kind of shows how we kind of started, and right when we started, it ended because we were gonna do a show with Cypress Hill. It was set up, and that would have probably took us.
To another level.
Yeah, and so a lot of things happened within us. You know, you had a lot of things happening back then, like pitfalls, drugs, and somehow our group just
Life.
yeah, it broke up, and it's just like, damn, you think about it now. But when that happened, that kind of motivated me to like do part 2, like to do the second generation.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I gotta keep it going. I I always wanted to keep it going. There's something good out of this, you know. Let's keep going, keep pushing, and so that's how I continued. And then now with the reintroduction, with the means and all that, and m.o.c. and Johnny. But like you said, who knows, right? One day when we're gone, maybe our kids or someone is
gonna take
continue.
that pedal.
Hopefully,
Right?
Beautiful
that'd
thing,
be pretty
man.
dope. I saw you met Pharrell. You had a conversation with him.
Oh yeah.
Any good advice or what you learned from him?
You know what?
He's a good producer. That's what I'm saying.
He's good, man. It was the Grammys. I forget the year that it was. 2000 and what was it? Can't remember the year exactly. At the time, my boy Frank, his name was Frank, not from the group, but there's another guy, Frank. I went with him. We went to the Grammys, and I met a lot of people there. A lot of people. Michael Jackson's brother was there. You see all these people like, wow, shit, But on the way out, I see Pharrell. And I go up to him, and he's really cool, bro. Shook my hand. We took a picture together, and talked to him real quick. He's on the go, so with him, the convo wasn't long, but it was more like, keep going, like that's what's up. Keep doing what you're doing. So what I learned from him was like just do, like don't be scared of failure, bro. Just don't think of like. I need to win that Grammy. No, just do what you love, and it'll all take care of itself.
Sometimes I feel like self-accomplishment feels way better than another.
For sure.
Like with Grammy, like
for what? Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, no, you're right. And so that's kind of what I learned from him, and he's a talented producer, bro.
Exactly. He's like Diamond. He gone Diamond. He got it,
Yeah, that guy's there. So it was cool meeting him,
Yeah.
And a lot of people there who, all the people that were there, man. Like I said, Michael Jackson's brother was there, and just being there around all those people, you learn how they're dealing with executives and labels, and I just taking it in.
Yeah.
Like, oh man,
I saw you have a project called Prince of the HA.
Oh yeah. My album, yeah.
Oh, that's your album.
Yeah, that's my solo album, The Prince of the Harbor Area.
When was that released?
That was released like, I want to say, 2017.
Oh, it's not that long ago.
Nah, not that long ago, bro.
You did the whole production. I like the cover. That's what come out.
Oh, the cover? Yeah, the cover's cool. Yeah. On that one, there was also a time when, I started producing in like 90s, right? With the Trust No Man, I produced for this guy, Little Chill, who's, I don't know if you know Compton's Most Wanted. Remember that group out of Compton? MC8.
I don't know if,
Yeah, so the Compton's Most Wanted, there's a guy named Chill from that group. This is his little brother, Little Chill. Familia Records released his album. I produced on that album. So I was producing in the 90s. And then there was a time when I was rapping more. And then my nephew, I have a nephew, man. Alex Puente is a really good musician. Branches, once again, when we come from a long line of musicians. And he was a talented musician, man, a producer too. So on that album, I kind of was like, I want to do something different. So he produced a lot on that. Yeah, so it was kind of fun at the time because it's someone different production, and then you get a different feel of how to write to things. So it was a good experience, bro. Like to do that album, and then he went to the military, and that's where he's at now. And so, which was good because it's kind of like, damn, what I do now.
Yeah.
So I went back to the roots and I started producing it once again.
Learning yourself
fell in
again,
love with
learning
it again.
new
Yeah,
things.
man.
You got that feeling back.
Oh yeah.
I was looking too. I don't know if it was your first single, the Spanish Flight. You were saying that you just had it on the big disc.
Mm-hmm.
What was those called?
Which one
the
was
record
that?
player, the one that you put on the little stick and.
The turntable.
Yeah, you guys had a project in that, or you just had like.
I wonder which one that was.
Yeah, like a side A and side B, and then like a couple tracks on the big.
What was the cover? You don't remember?
Nah, I just saw the disc and it was like kind of like brownish in the middle. But it was like on a big record. Was that like the whole? I don't know if it was like your project. You guys took it out like that, cause I know you.
What was the song on there? Do you remember?
Nah, it was just like way back.
There was a turntable on there?
Nah, it was just a disc. The songs were on a disc.
I wonder what it was called.
Yeah, well,
not this album.
it might have been.
What's the?
Nah,
What was on the actual CD?
it wasn't the CD. It was just like the big record player, and then it was like kind of brown with the words like the track, like 3 tracks, 6 tracks.
Because there's so much. I'm just wondering like who put it out because there's a lot. Some guys also put out music.
They were bootlegging.
People were bootlegging.
How did you guys take it? Was it good or bad?
The bootlegging?
Yeah, cause I know like for me, like I got my own content, So I would hate if somebody took away my content,
I mean, there's rumors, years ago that there was an artist that was bootlegging our project, um, but I don't really, rest in peace to this artist. But I heard he was kind of bootlegging some of our project, Spanish Fly back then. Yeah, I didn't like at the time, man. You're young, you're a knucklehead. I was really mad about it.
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
too.
yeah, hell yeah, I was mad about it. So I don't know if that's what you're talking about. I don't know, but they were bootlegging our stuff.
Damn,
Yeah.
that's crazy. And the new single Hugo,
Oh, Hugo, okay.
that one was really dope.
You like it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think Johnny D was trying to promote it in his last on the last podcast.
Yeah.
But I hadn't seen it at that time. But
Okay, the video?
I was able to check it out.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
You guys were hard.
Yeah, that's a good one, bro. Hugo's it's a good record, bro.
And it looked like you guys still got that Hugo, you just got
Still
that
got
juice.
the juice.
Yeah, you guys still got the juice.
We're drinking the juice, man. Yeah. The Spanish Fly album, the new one, the reintroduction was fun to do. Like I said, it's just getting these guys and just being in the studio with them. You learn and they get down. They're good.
Yeah.
So that was a fun album. And then the Johnny D, the Big Dog Status.
Yeah,
That one's
hard
dope,
too.
man.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed doing that album. That's where Hugo's on, and you got Hugo 90s and all that. But yeah, Hugo's is a dope record. I love that record, man.
Yeah, I got a couple of the songs on my playlist, so you guys better not better, but check it out at
Yeah.
Straight Faded Podcast.
Okay.
I'll post the link. I got I'm gonna add some of your songs too.
Oh,
like,
thanks, bro.
just let me know which ones you like or what singles you
Hell
want me
yeah,
to
I'll let
promote.
you
I'll
know,
add
man.
them to the playlist. But
Yeah.
yeah, you just have a lot of.
I appreciate that, man. I
Production.
appreciate you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, production's like, I fell back in love with it, like I said, and man, I just can't wait to, I just sold my pad, so my equipment is like, fuck, but I'm starting to connect it again and get in the studio again.
Yeah, I
just
feel like once you set up everything, you're gonna be
the
ready. You're
ideas
gonna
roll,
be
man. Yeah, we got a lot of good stuff coming, man. We got like I said, if you haven't heard the reintroduction, get that album. If you haven't heard Big Dog Status by Johnny D, I produced it. Peep it out. Tell me what you think. The old school, Trust No Man. And then we got some new surprises. The new documentary coming soon with a soundtrack on there that I'm working on new music for that. And then some surprises, man, with some OGs, I'll just say that he's one of the guys that I respect in the game, my boy Little Rob. We got surprises coming, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah, I can't wait for that one. Any more shout outs before we end this?
I want to shout out to you, your
Awesome.
podcast. Thank you
you.
for having me, man. I appreciate you guys. Johnny D, my boy Johnny D, the
Shout
whole
out
Harbor
Johnny D.
area, my boy Triggs, I said Rich Rock, the whole Spanish Fly family, Means, m.o.c, and my family, the Arellano family. And if I missed you, man, if I didn't mention you, man, I got love for you. My girl, gotta say hi.
Another
What's
big
up to
shout
my
out,
girl?
man.
Big shout out to my
Big
girl.
shout out.
That's the number one. And my daughter, man, I just had she's a year and change right now. So my daughter, Scarlet Snow, man.
Shout out
So,
to her. I got a
yeah,
little
man.
daughter. Well, my
Oh, you
little
do?
daughter, yes.
Yeah.
She's growing
How
up
old,
quick
man?
too. She looks like she's 4. They're growing up quick, But
You know what, bro? That's crazy because, sometimes on your iPhone, I don't know if you ever do videos, they pop up sometimes. Like the iPhone just does it for you.
yeah.
And the other day it popped up and, man, she was so small, like 2-3 months. And then it goes and goes and it's like, I got emotional, bro. I'm like,
Yeah, memories,
fucking
like,
a
it's
year?
everything-
I'm like, oh, no. And then everyone tells me, take advantage, bro. My daughter is 13 now. And I'm like, oh, fuck. They're like, it goes quick.
They don't even follow you no more at that age. They want to do their
man.
own thing.
I know. Right now she's small. I got to get her in the studio, too.
Oh, that'd be dope.
Hell yeah.
I try getting my kids on it, but they're still, shy and all that. But
Hell yeah.
that's dope, you got any links you want to promote?
I got the IG, right? It's Spanish Fly. I think it's Spanish Fly Daz 110 South. And then from there you can find me on YouTube. I think
I'll
my
post the
YouTube is
link.
linked.
You
if
can send me the
post
links
it.
and I'll
I'll send it
post
to you, man.
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you
for
can,
sure.
post it. I'm not really. I go on there sometimes. I'm more like. I don't like going on there much because it keeps me from producing, bro. When I produce, I just kind of stick.
Yeah, I try to be offline now.
It's hard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes we gotta network and shit and move it.
I talk to the kids a lot, I counsel a lot of kids, and when I talk to them, I'm like, man, that's social media, man. We didn't grow up with that. I'm like, you guys got to work extra hard to do something because they're always on the phone, bro.
And then they just get stuck there. And then when it comes to the real world, like when you gotta learn how to
Oh, yeah.
maneuver over there too, 'cause it's not the same as online.
Oh, yeah. You got to unplug sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, thank you for pulling up. It was nice
That's what's up,
interview,
bro.
man. Like,
Thank you,
hopefully you
man.
could come back again. We
I'll
could
come
probably
back, bro.
work together
Sure.
too on your
Hell
production.
yeah, let's get
or
down,
produce
bro.
something together. I'll be
I'm
producing
down.
too.
Yeah, I'm down. We could do
We'll
whatever.
work on
Either or.
something. Then big shout out to Johnny D, m.o.c, everybody from Spanish Fly.
That's what's up,
Your
man.
boy Leo Faded, Ese Daz, and we out.
Love his hat, man. 310. That's what I'm talking about.
You're
Peace.